Spider-Man Homecoming is directed by John Watts and stars Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Marissa Tomei, Michael Keaton, Jon Favreau, Zendaya. Like a lot of actors are in this film. And I know I'm very late on this review. I said that I was on holiday and I'm back in Thailand now, and I just got back last night. And Game of Thrones is coming out tomorrow morning, and I have to go watch War for the Planet of the Apes, and I still have to do my 3 reviews leading up to Dunkirk. So I might be slightly late on some of these reviews simply because, for me, Game of Thrones comes first, and so I will be doing weekly coverage of that after every episode, and obviously it's all very overwhelming. I'm suffering from jet lag. It's 8 o'clock right now, AM, the time of shooting this, and I haven't slept since 1. In fact, I've been playing the story mode of Injustice 2 for the last couple of hours. I finished the game, so I'm very tired, but I'm going to review this, guys, because I wasn't super excited for this film, actually, and I think that is because this film has one of the worst, marketing, promotional campaigns I've ever seen. The trailers were very lousily edited, and I felt like they basically gave away the entire film, and the posters were just pathetic, and so I really just was not excited. We already have 5 Spider-Man films, 2 good ones, the other 3 not so much, and I was kind of tired of seeing just generic Spider-Man fighting crime, web slinging around New York. But I have to say, after seeing this film, I was incredibly surprised, because this is an incredibly enjoyable, very fun, and actually surprisingly different film compared to the other Spider-Man films. There are long periods of time throughout the film where you don't actually get to see Spider-Man at all. It's just Peter Parker, and you get to see him build relationship with all these characters. And also, you know, most Spider-Man films, they kind of only touch on that high school aspect of it. And in my opinion, I think that the fact that so many people love the character of Spider-Man is because he is relatable, is because he has everyday problems. He is a 15-year-old kid with problems. He isn't like the king of Atlantis. He isn't like Superman, you know, he isn't some genius billionaire. He's just a kid with powers. And so this film does such a great job of showing that he's not just some invincible superhero. He's still learning, right? Not only as a superhero, but just as a person. And obviously other Spider-Man films have kind of touched on that, especially Spider-Man 2. But I do feel that this film handles sort of the evolution of the character in a much more light-hearted way and in a much more enjoyable way. And I think they do that through the fact that Peter Parker in this film is still in high school. Right, and it's actually nice to see Tom Holland, who is someone who's actually close to the age range of Peter Parker, being in high school and actually interacting with his friends, like the character of Ned. I'm not sure what the actor is called, but he was so good in this film. He was so funny. He had me laughing in every scene, and it's actually nice to see a lot of the time spent in this film dedicated to him being in high school, doing school stuff. And this is probably, in my opinion, the most comic accurate representation of Spider-Man, simply because of that high school aspect, because he's still a kid and not Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, you know, with like hair gel and a backpack, you know, trying to look like they're 15 years old. I really liked how this film takes its time to develop Spider-Man's relationship with other characters. I definitely liked Marissa Tomei as Aunt May in this film. It's definitely different, but I do feel that it is a welcome change, because we've already seen sort of the more old and wise Aunt May. Whereas in Spider-Man Homecoming, I feel like Peter's relationship with Aunt May is a lot different. It's actually quite funny, and it actually makes for some really cool character moments. Also, his relationship with Iron Man, which I thought was really, really good. In fact, I do feel that this movie was at its best when it is this sort of laid-back, funny, sort of John Hughes-esque high school film that is more character driven as opposed to a superhero movie, which I'll get into a little bit. But I want to talk about the performances first. Tom Holland was great in this film. You know, I saw him for the first time in The Impossible. That's a great film, by the way. J.A. Bayona, really well directed, great film. He was very good in that film, and I liked him in Civil War quite a bit. But I think in this film he really proved himself that he is incredible as Spider-Man. He plays the character with so much energy and excitement. He probably had a lot of fun making this film, and I think it really shows. And again, his character is just so relatable, so likable, and that is Spider-Man. It's that simple. Also, like I said, Marissa Tomei was very good. Also, Zendaya is very good. Like, most of the performances in the film, pretty much all of them, are very good. Also, a big concern that I had with this film was how they were going to utilize Iron Man, because if you've seen those horrible piece of shit trailers, then you'll know that Iron Man is like in those trailers quite a bit. And so I was very worried because I didn't want it to be like an Iron Man, Spider-Man buddy cop film. I just wanted it to be a Spider-Man film. But again, I was pleasantly surprised because Iron Man isn't in the film too much. I think Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, we all love him, right? It's always great to see him in a Marvel movie. And I think he gives a really good performance in this one because he's essentially sort of the father figure of Peter Parker. And he isn't in the movie too much. I think he's in the movie just right. And also, what was Gwyneth Paltrow doing in this film? She just shows up, yeah, Pepper Potts at the end, you know, and you know, I thought that was quite a pleasant surprise. I thought her Marvel contract was like had run out, and so it was quite a nice surprise to see her in this film. Also, pleasant surprise was Jon Favreau. I love the guy as a director, as an actor, and he was very good in this film. And just like Iron Man, he actually has just the right amount to do in this film, and I really liked him. And of course, speaking of Iron Man, at the end of this, you know, film, you get to see the Iron Spider suit, and I have been a long time fan of the Iron Spider suit. I think it's one of the coolest superhero costumes ever, and it's really nice to see it on film, and I hope that he wears it in Infinity War. But I would have liked the suit just to be red and gold as opposed to having those blue accents, but it doesn't matter. At least it's still the Iron Spider suit, which is insane. Also, I have to talk about Michael Keaton as the Vulture, the villain. I was also very worried about this because Marvel has a tendency to cast incredible actors to play their villains and completely underuse them. They did it with Mads Mikkelsen in Doctor Strange, with Lee Pace in Guardians 1. But again, I was pleasantly surprised because Michael Keaton, this is one of the best MCU villains. Let's talk about that twist. Obviously, you find out that he's the dad of the girl that Peter likes. And I can see a lot of people being like, they only did that for the shock factor. I think that doing that gives the villain so much more depth because it creates this connection between the hero and the villain that you wouldn't have in most cases. And so it was so cool, so unexpected to see that. And I loved his scene with Tom Holland, with Peter Parker in that car when he's driving him to the homecoming dance. That was incredible. And I really liked the end credit scene because it's like showing that the Vulture has just sort of this level of mutual respect for Spider-Man, and it was just so cool to see that. And I do think that this is definitely one of the best MCU villains. I think top 3. He's really good. I really like Michael Keaton in this film. I really like the character as well. Also, I really liked Michael Giacchino's score for this film. Michael Giacchino, if you don't know, is the guy who did the score for films like Rogue One and Up. I think he has an Oscar actually, and I really liked his score for this film. I'd probably prefer Danny Elfman's original one just a little bit, but I was, again, very pleasantly surprised by this film. My biggest problem with the film is that I do feel, like I said, that this film is at its best when it's not taking itself too seriously. When it is this relaxed, fun, enjoyable, entertaining, character-driven film with superhero elements integrated into it. But I do feel that, yeah, whenever it tries to go big and be this big superhero blockbuster action film, it's good, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's kind of like I didn't feel as entertained as I did with the other parts of the film. I thought that the big blockbuster aspect of it was just more of the same. Like, part of why I liked that high school aspect was because it was new and unique and different, and with the action scenes and all the rest of that, it just kind of felt like more of the same. And again, we have 5 Spider-Man movies we can watch if you want good action, right? Because again, the action scenes in this film are good. You know, there's no shaky cam, they're very well shot. But there's just not that much excitement, not that much tension or intensity, and it just kind of feels like a generic Marvel movie, and that was probably my biggest problem with this film. But on the whole, guys, Spider-Man Homecoming was a very pleasant surprise. I had quite a bit of fun with it. It is a fun, self-aware film that addresses quite a couple of problems I've had with the Spider-Man films, such as what would happen if Spider-Man was in a place where there's no tall buildings, right? He would just have to run. And I liked how they addressed that in the film. And it's just little bits like this I really enjoyed, but whenever it turned into this big, loud action blockbuster, it was kind of boring for me. But at the end, I'm going to give this film a B+. Guys, thank you as always for watching. I will be doing the first recap of Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 1. Oh my god, I cannot wait tomorrow morning, right, well, morning for Thailand, night for America, or whatever time zone you are in. But thank you as always, guys, for watching. Thank you.